Then we have the butterfly test, which is looking at that sensory motor integration. This is the only test where the patient needs to face the computer screen. Like you have seen here, I can essentially be, looking at the computer here for the other ones.
Yep.
But for this one, we need your visual system.
Sure.
So that's why we are looking at the computer. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Your job here is to stay on the red dot. There will be a red dot traveling on the screen and a blue cross. You are controlling the blue cross.
Okay.
And the best way to look at it is that you are controlling it with your nose.
Okay.
So you're moving your head and neck to stay on that red dot.
Understood.
Makes sense?
Yes.
So without further ado, good.
We'll see.
Yeah. Tougher than it looks.
Yeah, it's challenging.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really challenging to be able to stay on it, even when it was slow or at times it almost stopped. It's not a movement that I'm used to considering, yet it's the foundation for everything I do.
Yeah.
That's just really interesting.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And the neck is such a complex area.
Right.
So there's a lot of, mechanoreceptors and proprioceptors in the neck, and all those small muscles that we're not used to training.
Yeah.
That fine motor control, that's what you're doing right now.
It's super interesting. I could almost feel myself moving in different planes, which I never think about. Honestly, you just kind of move around, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm fascinated to see what it looks like.
So ready for the next one?
Sure.
And those are, different paths, traveling in, different speed and different direction. So we're really checking the holistic approach. Okay?
All right.
And then there's the last one.
Are they in order of speed or?
No, randomized order.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So it is fascinating to just even feel that motion. It's just not something that I'm used to thinking about or considering. So
Yeah.
it's really interesting.
So, and for this one, as I said, this was invented. This has been over 20 years in development. And there's a lot of research papers on it as well. That's also, again, the core of what we do.
Yeah.
But what you will see here is what some call the signature of the neck.
Okay.
So now you didn't see, but you were actually tracking a predefined pattern.
Interesting.
And then we have normative data. So we can compare your results to norms.
All right. Oh, so let's see that.
Yeah. So this is easy, medium, difficult.
Okay.
So here you were moving super slowly up here.
Yep.
If this would be super jerky, that might also give an indication of your stability when moving slow.
Got it.
So you are actually, there's room for improvement. But when it was super slow, you did quite okay. When the pace actually picked up, you did worse.
Got it.
Compared to norms.
Got it. And so to talk a little bit about what's displayed here.
Yeah. So here we're looking at the amplitude accuracy. So how far away from the dot are you? You are moving in a big bit in the different directions, and then here we're looking at the over and undershoot. And time on target. So how much time do you actually stay on target versus how much are you overshooting and undershooting?
Interesting.
So for you, you have, you're definitely, again, not green.
Right.
So there is some room for improvement, and you have, a high undershoot, meaning that you have a difficulty in accelerating. So, you have a difficulty in actually catching up to the dot.
Interesting.
For people that have a high overshoot, they have a difficulty in decelerating. They're overshooting.
Yeah.
So that might also be an indicator of what treatment approach and personalized plan the clinician would develop.
Yeah, the interesting thing, and we've discussed quite a bit about motor vehicle accidents, about mild traumatic brain injury, and to the best of my knowledge, I don't have either of those.
Yep.
Yeah, this still is showing that there's improvement to be had,
Yeah.
which I think is really, really fascinating, because right now I'm pretty asymptomatic. I don't have any pain. I don't have any perceptible dysfunction, yet it's not surprising to me that, hey, well, this is not something that I train for every day. It's not something that I focus on. So my point of highlighting that to everybody listening and watching is, if you have a patient coming in, even if they're not to the point of, a mild traumatic brain injury or something like a concussion, chances are, I'm going to say, if they have pain, they're probably going to have issues with this. Yep. And even those patients that are in performance mode, wellness care, that might be asymptomatic, it would be really interesting to be able to understand how they are moving throughout these planes via the butterfly test, because again, this is just one more opportunity to showcase, hey, here's where you're at today. And again, true objective functional improvement over time, which is some of the most powerful information that you can provide a patient, and that can really help them, again, live a higher quality of life down the road, is when they are moving with this. I like to always think about the balance of strength and flexibility, right? Are you able to have the strength, the flexibility, the dynamic range, so to speak, to be able to do a functional assessment and stay on point?
Absolutely.
And this is awesome, just graphical representation of that.
And because you touched on the sports as well. I mean, as a professional athlete or someone that strives to be a professional athlete, you definitely want to have your sensory motor integration
critical. Yeah, it's top notch. Critical. Yeah, it's critical. Good luck trying to hit a golf ball, trying to hit a fastball, trying to drive a race car, in split second movements, and be able to make those decisions if you have the sensory motor integration.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen.
No.
You're going to be, at your best, you'll be suboptimal.
Yeah.
Right? So this at least gives you the opportunity to have that threshold. And I think that that's an awesome opportunity for docs to have great conversations with coaches, with managers, with trainers, with parents, with cousins, brothers, uncles, whoever it might be, of those athletes, depending upon whether they're a student athlete or whether they're a semi-pro or they're a full professional athlete, being able to, there's not many things that can literally improve the threshold of performance, right? And when you have great sensory motor integration, you've improved the threshold. Now you got to still do the work to maximize that. But that's what I guess the athlete fired up. They want to do the work to maximize it. It's when you're hitting that brick wall. And, I think about a sneaking suspicion in my mind right now, like, man, I'd love to do these tests on every pro and see which ones are feeling like, I'm hitting a brick wall. And there might be some good reasons for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely. So just to show you, okay, this is, again, you're pretty neurotypical. I mean, you're around the average, right? But let's see how an actual patient looks like. Post, this example is post-concussion, but look at that.
Yeah, that's stark in terms of highlighting the dysfunction, especially compared to what we just saw. So it looks like, a noodle, of a baby drawing.
It is
to that effect. And I can imagine that has some cognitive challenges.
Absolutely. And this is an 18-year-old athlete that suffered 2 concussions within a short period of time.
Right.
But we can see it.
Right.
And that's what has been impossible until now, is to actually, how can we objectively document this?
Yeah. And I'll dig deeper on that for a moment, because I think it's, one of the things that I've always thought of is, and I think everybody out there listening has heard, is one of the biggest opportunities in chiropractic is with neuro and brain health, right? And often we tie that back to concussive symptoms, whether athlete or motor vehicle accident. And one of the challenges I've always had internally is, how do I test for that? How do I really get fast information that's accurate? And to me, this showcases a lane and an avenue to be able to get the data necessary to be able to, if you have implemented concussion care in your practice and you're not doing this, you're probably missing out on a massive opportunity. If you've been thinking about adding concussive-based care into your practice, and like me, it's like, well, how do I do that? I know what I'm going to do with my care. I know how to take care of people, but how do I describe this thing that, you know, people may know they have a concussion, but how do I show that? And being able to show this can absolutely take that patient that one step from, I know I have this issue, to I believe I'm in the right place to get help. And being able to set a baseline, if you can't do that, you're up a creek, right? So being able to set a baseline and then show that improvement, I love it.
Also, from a marketing perspective, I know that's, you know, your forte. You know, what we help our customers do is obviously how can you leverage, you know, our technology to differentiate yourself. And many are starting up a new program, you know, going out to the schools or going out to the teams, marketing themselves in their environment, in their market. Hey, we have cutting edge technology, something that hasn't been available before, backed with 20 years of research and reliability to provide you and with the best possible care that's out there.
The ability to take something like this, and I know many docs out there have, like, you know, back in the day, you know, chiropractors used to do a lot of like spinal screenings, and, you know, a lot of docs go on location now and do taping and things like that. And, you know, that's great. But we all know that when you bring out a piece of technology, you get the ooh and ah factor, and people like that. So if you are a doc that's been going out to local events, you know, so we talked about it on the sidelines or in the locker room, but if you're going out to local events, talk about an opportunity to be able to bring technology that's got to get people's attention, get objective data that's real, and then be able to open up that conversation in a meaningful way. Like we said, like, this does not take 25 minutes of explanation. By the time the report is generated, you're going to have the patient telling you what's wrong with them just by being able to see it. So to me, any doc that's out there doing events, and again, maybe you're doing taping, maybe you're doing spinal screenings, maybe you're tired of that, or you're like, man, I wish I had something else to bring to the table to get attention at this expo.
Absolutely.
This is a great opportunity to do so.
Really is. And also I think, like, just where we are headed, you know, as individuals, as society, people are seeking knowledge, more and more and more. The patients are becoming more and more educated as well. You know, everyone has diagnosed themselves before they go to the doctor, right? So to be able to provide that objective documentation with a report that people can also say, oh, I understand that. And they connected with their pain, like you said. They connect the dots in a way better way, and buy into your care in a completely different way and on a different level.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much for watching this video on the Evidence Based Chiropractor channel. If you don't want to miss a single thing, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notifications of every video we put out, and we put out new content each and every week. So be sure to subscribe today.